and welcome to your free Spanish lesson. My name is Ingrid Jackson and I am your Spanish instructor. Como siempre, before we start today, we're going to go over last week's lesson as well as your homework. Last week, I asked you a few questions. You were supposed to find the meaning of those questions as well as answer them in Spanish. And here are the questions. ¿Qué día es hoy? ¿Qué día es hoy? Which means what day is today? Now, last week I also taught you the days of the week. So this question you could answer as such. Hoy es lunes for Monday. Hoy es martes for Tuesday. Hoy es miércoles for Wednesday. Hoy es jueves for Thursday. Hoy es viernes for Friday. Hoy es sábado for Saturday. Hoy es domingo for Sunday. Hoy es meaning today is, and then you can add whatever the day is to that answer. Your next question is, ¿Cómo te llamas? Meaning, what is your name? ¿Cómo te llamas? What is your name? Now, that brings me to a letter in the Spanish alphabet that does not exist in the English alphabet, and that's the double L. Now, the double L in the alphabet in Spanish comes right after the L, and it's called doble L, double L. And it's always going to sound like the Y does in English, such as in the word yo-yo. So, this question is, ¿Cómo te llamas? And you can answer like this. Me llamo, and then whatever your name is. In my case, me llamo Ingrid. That means my name is. Now there's another way to say that, and it is mi nombre. I guess me llamo could be I am called Ingrid, and it's a proper way to say it. Me llamo Ingrid, and then the other way to say mi nombre es Ingrid, which means my name is Ingrid. So these are two different ways that you can answer this question, and both would be right. Okay? Me llamo Ingrid, or mi nombre es Ingrid. Now, when someone is asking you this, what's the most common way that people say it? It's me llamo Ingrid. Next question. ¿Qué hora es? ¿Qué hora es? Meaning, what time is it? La hora es, and then you would say whatever the time is. Now, next week, we're going to go into numbers, so don't worry about that. We'll be able, and I'll get into, as a matter of fact, that will be something that you'll learn next week, and it's going to be how to tell time in Spanish. Okay? So, anyway, it's ¿Qué hora es? What time is it? And then you can answer son las, it is, whatever time it is. So in this case, I'm going to give you a few examples just so you get an idea. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 3 de la tarde. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 3 de la tarde, which means it is 3 in the afternoon. Son las 2 de la tarde. Son las 4 de la tarde. Okay, now we're gonna get more in depth into with that next week, so you'll understand it a little bit better. But when you're asked, you can say son las, and then say whatever the number, do signs or whatever you need to do so people understand. But at least you'll know how to ask what time it is, and even answer son las, and then just do the numbers. Okay, it's a good start. Next question. ¿Tienes hambre? That means, are you hungry? ¿Tienes hambre? Are you hungry? Now, the way to answer this would be sí, which means yes. And then you can leave it as that. Sí, yes. Or you can say sí, tengo hambre, which means yes, I am hungry. So again, that would be sí, if you just want to answer yes and that's it, get it over with. Or you can say sí, tengo hambre, which means yes, I am hungry. Now, last week you also learned that in Spanish the H is silent. So it doesn't matter where the H falls in a word, at the front, beginning, the middle, end of the word, it doesn't matter. It is silent. So every time you see an H, it doesn't exist. However, the J in Spanish sounds like the H does in English. And you learned this last week with the word hija for daughter and hijo for son. Now, for this week's lesson, what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you a few sentences that will allow you to have a very short conversation with someone. Short meaning, hi, how are you? I'm doing fine. Nothing major. But at least it will allow you to say hello to people and have somewhat of a conversation with them. And here are those sentences. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Hola, ¿cómo estás? Hi, how are you? Yo estoy bien. That means I'm okay. Or you can say, yo estoy bien, gracias. I'm okay, thank you. ¿Qué me cuentas? That means, how's it going? What's up? Or talk to me. And of course, you'll say this to someone that you already know. So you'll say, ¿qué me cuentas? ¿Cómo te llamas? What's your name? ¿Cómo te llamas? Me llamo Ingrid. Or, mi nombre es Ingrid. Me llamo Ingrid. Or, mi nombre es Ingrid. Either way, it's right. ¿Eres soltera o soltero? Are you single? Now, as you know, in Spanish, if it ends with the A, you're going to refer to it as feminine. If it ends with an O, you're going to refer to it as masculine. So when you're asking someone, ¿eres soltero? That means, are you single? Referring to a male. Now, if you're a male talking to a female, you're going to say, ¿eres soltera? That means, are you single? So I'm going to repeat that. If you're a female asking a male if he's single, you're going to say, ¿eres soltero? And if you are a male asking a female, then you're going to say, ¿eres soltera? Now, if you want to say to someone, like you have a pretty name or your name is pretty, you're going to say, ¿qué nombre tan lindo? What a beautiful name. ¿Qué nombre tan lindo? What a beautiful name. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you 3 simple sentences, but they could apply for so many things, and I'll explain that to you now. They're simple. You never know, you may need them. Tengo frío. Tengo frío. That means I'm cold. Now, when you refer to things as, if something is cold, you can say it is cold. Está frío. Está meaning it is. So you can say está frío. It is cold. Or tengo frío, meaning you are cold. Tengo calor. That means you're hot. Tengo calor. That means you're hot. Now, I think this is going to go over 3 little sentences that I wanted you to learn, but that's okay because that's taking me to the next one, which I didn't think before, which is when you're referring to things as being hot, instead of saying calor, calor means heat. So when you say tengo calor, that means you're hot. Okay? But when you're referring to things, you're going to say está caliente. That means it is hot. Está caliente. So if someone serves you a soup and it's too hot, you can now tell them that your soup is too hot. Está caliente. Tengo hambre. That means I'm hungry. Tengo hambre. That means you're hungry. And last week, I believe you learned how to ask someone if they're hungry, which is ¿tienes hambre? Tienes, when you're referring to someone. ¿Tienes hambre? Asking someone if they're hungry. But if you're saying yourself that you're hungry, you say tengo hambre. I'm hungry. A fun fact that I want you to learn is that in Spanish, regardless of the country you're in or the person that you're talking to, what country they came from, you refer to them as thou if you don't know them, if they're an elder, or if they're a superior at work. So instead of saying tú, which means you, which is how you would refer to a friend or someone you know well or a family member, you would say usted. So again, that is usted. And this is how you would refer to strangers, an elder person, or a superior at work. And this is basically done out of respect. So never use tú, use usted if it's any of those, if it's someone that falls into any of those categories. Okay, now here comes your homework. And this week, I'm just simply going to give you 10 words, as we did our first week, I think it was. And I want you to look up those words and find the meaning for them. We're going to be using them pretty soon. Word number 1. Casa. Word number 2. Lluvia. Word number 3. Silla. Word number 4. Mesa. Word number 5. Cocina. Word number 6. Baño. Word number 7. Toalla. Word number 8. Jabón. Word number 9. Caliente. Word number 10. Frío. Okay, well, this is it for today's lesson. I hope you guys had a great time, and I can't wait to see you next week. Until then, I want to wish you a lot of buena suerte, and until next week, I'll see you then. Bye-bye.